Breaking news. The NFL world is buzzing right now, and Raiders Nation, this one hits close to home. Out of nowhere, a respected veteran safety, known for nearly 500 career tackles, was just cut loose by the Patriots. And guess what? His name is already being whispered around Las Vegas as a potential addition to the silver and black. Will this be the missing piece that reshapes the Raiders' defense? Stick with me, because the details you're about to hear might just shock you. The Las Vegas Raiders head into the 2025 season standing at a crucial crossroads. The defense has shown flashes, but consistency has been hard to find. And when you look at this roster, you know something big has to happen if the Raiders want to get back into serious contention. Now, before we dive deeper into this developing story, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss the latest Raiders updates. Alright, let's move on to the new news. So who's the name turning heads right now? None other than Jabrill Peppers. At 29, the versatile safety was surprisingly released by the New England Patriots. And while some might think his best years are behind him, insiders are pointing at Las Vegas as his ideal landing spot. Why? Because Peppers isn't just another free agent, he's a tone setter. With 470 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 7 interceptions in 99 career games, his track record speaks volumes. He plays with an aggressive edge at the line of scrimmage, yet he's smart enough to hold his own in coverage. Put him next to Max Crosby and suddenly, this Raiders defense could have an entirely different energy. Jabrill Peppers isn't just a name on the market, he's a player who thrives when the pressure is at its peak. Over the years, he's built a reputation for shutting down the run, something the Raiders have struggled with far too often. In fact, Las Vegas ranked middle of the pack last season when it came to run defense, a weakness that repeatedly cost them big moments. Adding a hard-hitting safety like Peppers could be the exact remedy to close that gap. But here's where things get really interesting. Week 1. The Raiders open their season against none other than the New England Patriots, the very team that just cut ties with Peppers. Imagine the storyline. Peppers walking back onto the field, staring down his old teammates, and bringing that chip on his shoulder straight into the game. That's not just football, that's personal. And beyond the emotions, there's the strategy. Peppers brings more than stats. He brings leadership. He's not the kind of star who demands headlines every week, but he's the kind of player who steadies a defense, makes the right reads, and sets the tone in the locker room. He won't single-handedly transform the Raiders into the league's best defense, but his presence could be the difference between a unit that bends and one that finally refuses to break. In a season where every detail matters, Peppers could give Las Vegas something it's been missing for years: toughness, stability, and a leader who knows how to rise in high-pressure battles. With Jabrill Peppers on the field, the Raiders wouldn't just be filling a roster spot, they'd be raising their entire level of competition. His physical presence could immediately help against teams that thrive on running the ball and attacking with quick, short passes, two areas where Las Vegas has struggled for years. But here's the reality. This defense still has a long way to go before it can strike fear into the rest of the league. If the Raiders decide to bring Peppers aboard, it may only be the first step in what needs to be a bigger defensive overhaul. Even so, his experience, toughness, and leadership would give the unit something it's been missing: stability. And let's not ignore the drama that comes with timing. Imagine Week 1, a showdown against his former team, the Patriots. The storyline writes itself: revenge, pressure, and the chance for Peppers to prove he still belongs among the league's most reliable defenders. It may not be the blockbuster signing that dominates headlines, but it could be the smart, steady move that keeps the Raiders' playoff hopes alive. Yet, as critical as defense is, another question hangs over this franchise like a storm cloud. What about the quarterback position? Because while the Raiders focus on strengthening one side of the ball, everyone knows the future of the team still depends on who leads the offense. Gino Smith has been brought in to steer the ship for now, but at 35 years old, can he really be the long-term answer? The truth is, Gino Smith may steady the ship in 2025, but he's not steering it forever. At 35 years old, he offers short-term reliability, not a long-term solution. Yes, he could surprise this season, but the Raiders can't afford to ignore the elephant in the room: the future of the quarterback position. That's where the real pressure lies. And all eyes are already drifting toward the 2026 NFL Draft, where one name keeps popping up as a potential answer: Fernando Mendoza. Standing 6'5" and weighing 225 pounds, Mendoza checks the boxes of a modern franchise quarterback. He's got the arm strength to stretch the field, the processing speed to read defenses quickly, and the kind of raw upside scouts salivate over. Last year at Cal, he threw for over 3,000 yards with 16 touchdowns. Now, after transferring to Indiana, he'll be under the guidance of offensive mastermind Kurt Cignetti, a coach known for shaping quarterbacks into pros. That move alone has the scouting community buzzing. If Mendoza continues to grow in his new system, he could very well become the prospect the Raiders are dreaming about. But here's the catch: 2025 is going to be his proving ground. Every throw, every read, every mistake will be dissected under a microscope. The Raiders, like several quarterback-hungry teams, will be watching closely. If Mendoza shows he can command an offense at the college level, he may just hold the keys to Las Vegas's future. For Fernando Mendoza, 2025 will be the ultimate test. Every game he plays at Indiana will be a scouting report written in real time, and the Raiders will be paying close attention. Can he deliver under pressure? Can he prove he's more than just potential? Those answers could decide if he becomes the face of the silver and black. But while the future is being debated, the present still belongs to Gino Smith. At 35, this may be his last true chance to redefine his career. Surrounded by an improved offensive line and dangerous new weapons like rookie running back Ashton Genty and athletic tight end Brock Bowers, Smith actually has the pieces to surprise a lot of people. Add in the arrival of Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, and suddenly the Raiders' offense could look far more dynamic than it has in years. Still, even if Smith lights up the scoreboard, the long-term question remains. The Raiders need a quarterback who can carry the franchise into the next era, not just manage the present. That's why the spotlight on Mendoza and other young prospects will only grow brighter as the season unfolds. So here's the reality: Geno Smith may deliver stability in 2025. He may even lead the Raiders back into playoff contention. But the franchise knows it can't stop there. The search for the quarterback of the future isn't just important, it's the defining challenge for Las Vegas moving forward. The quarterback question might define the Raiders' long-term future, but it isn't the only drama unfolding in Las Vegas. Behind the scenes, one of the team's most reliable weapons has suddenly become a headline for all the wrong reasons. Wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, fresh off a 2024 campaign where he topped 1,000 yards and scored 4 touchdowns, has reportedly asked for a trade. His frustration stems from stalled contract negotiations, and the timing couldn't be worse. This comes just months after the Raiders moved on from Davante Adams, making Meyers the clear focal point of the passing attack. Losing him now would leave a massive hole in the offense. General Manager John Spiddick has spoken highly of Meyers, praising his professionalism and impact on the locker room, but his future with the silver and black is suddenly uncertain. The situation is complicated further by the arrival of rookie wideout Jack Beck. While Beck brings potential, there's no substitute for Meyers' experience, especially in a year where the Raiders are already balancing defensive changes, quarterback questions, and now contract disputes. This trade request is more than just a roster move, it's a test of the Raiders' identity. Can the organization keep its key players happy while also reshaping the roster for the future? Will Meyers remain a trusted target in 2025, or will he force his way out just as the Raiders try to steady the ship? One thing is certain: with questions at quarterback, adjustments on defense, and now uncertainty at wide receiver, the Raiders are walking into the 2025 season with pressure on every front. The answers, or the lack of them, could decide not just this season, but the future of the entire franchise.